So, demonstrations.
Fun time.
I know. Remember how I talked about the school and the young people, and this is just really getting to understand condoms. And one of the things, and this is the banana, and I'm sure everyone had a banana at school, like this. So, I'm after some lube. What do I do with me lube? Oh, here we are, found it. It's all right. So one of the things that we used to talk to young people about, and we can do this in our work as well, is we often do demonstrations and discussions about things like contraception, condoms. We offer condoms readily, female and male. I'll show you the female one as well. Is that the only picture? It's a very busy picture, isn't it? I thought I saw one that looked a lot simpler than that. And you see how it's a fairly bland looking phallus? Because it doesn't necessarily have to be a penis, it could be a toy. And they're the things that we need to let people know is if you're having sex with somebody, you should be wearing condoms. If you're having anal sex and then vaginal sex, you absolutely have to change the condom. Because the bug in the bowel is very different to the bug inside the vagina. And you can give someone a really nasty E. coli infection. No, it's the female. Okay, we've got the male one. So what we do is we tell young people, and this is where young people really like this, because often how many young people do you think's been shown how to put a condom on? Probably YouTube's a bit better now. But I used to find with the young people, because we used to do a lot of school-ed stuff, but we never went to enough schools, so it was a problem. And we used to have young men and women in the class, and I used to love having this, the male and the female, the fluid kind of movement of the class. And I used to say to people, we used to talk about the heteronormative, we used to talk about wherever you are in the spectrum in relation to whether you identify as very hetero or you're very homosexual, you know, you are absolutely attracted to the same sex, or you're absolutely attracted to the opposite sex, or you're somewhere in the middle. That's the sort of conversation that you have in a classroom, and everyone the light starts to go on to identify, one, that there probably is someone in this classroom, but it also allows that person in that classroom to feel comfortable that you know that. And so that's the trick. And so then you sort, and so we've got a penis, which is not a boringly atypical phallus. So you start talking about the condom, and you start talking about how to put it on, and quite often the class goes very quiet because this is knowledge that they want to know. And if you start talking to young people about, you are young people, but you are young adults. You're making decisions about your life, and once you start giving them that permission to say, okay, it's your call. If you want to make a decision about having sex, it's your call. It's your responsibility as well as your right. You kind of feel they start to feel good about who they are because you're giving them permission to actually say, this is your life now. These are the decisions you're going to be making. And I do like that. So what you do is, condoms have a use-by date. So I often show people the use-by date. I say they do expire. Keeping it in your back pocket in your jeans or in the glove box is probably not a good idea. Keeping it in your wallet for 4 years is probably not a good idea. Keeping a supply and being aware of what they are. There are very many different types. There's ribbed, there's coloured, there's glow in the dark, there's flavoured. It's all sorts of stuff. There's some new ones out that are extremely thin and very comfortable. I forget what they're made of. There's silicone, so there's latex free as well as latex. Most common is latex. You might often get excuses such as, I can't wear a condom, I'm allergic to latex. So that's when the conversation comes in about, well, I actually have non-latex condoms. So getting the people understanding their script. I was talking before about scripts and having those little things. Oh, look, condoms never fit me, I'm too big. Well, how many oranges fit in a condom? 21 oranges will fit in a condom. Yeah. So, all those sorts of things. If you love me, you won't wear a condom. I'm not with anybody. So you have that conversational script about, look, yeah, I get that, but this is something that I want to be safe about, and I really like to wear condoms, and we can make fun of it. Have fun with it, that sort of thing. Have that conversation. Make them feel comfortable enough to say, no, their way, or yes, their way. So they open, you usually got serrated edges, and they open, and you just tear it down. You try and move the condom across so that you don't tear the condom while you're doing it. You shouldn't put the condom in your teeth and try and put it on that way, you'll probably tear it. Condoms will only go on one way. And this is the thing that we talk to young people about. And as you can see, and I learnt this from Naomi, I like to do a little analogy. It was like a Mexican hat sitting up there, and it has a little, I'm just checking this out, yeah, it has a little bobble on the end of it, and you squeeze that bobble. Why do you think you squeeze the bobble? Yeah, Science 101, if there's air in there, nothing else will fit there. And what's that there for, you think, the little bobble at the end? Yep, exactly. So what you need to be mindful of is you've got your penis, needs to be erect. It will not go into a soft penis, toy, whatever. So what you do is you squeeze the tip to allow the sperm in, but what if you've done it and you go, oh, wrong way, and you turn it over, but you've touched the penis? Beautiful. Because what you're basically doing, and the term would be double dipping, which is a really unattractive term for sex, but that's the way it is you could well have a little bit of chlamydia sitting on the top there, or you could have a little sperm sitting on the top there going, oh, I just feel I want to go and procreate. So what you do is you just get rid of that and you start a new one, because it will only go on one way. So it's okay, it's on the right way, penis is erect, you're all having fun, you're ready to rock and roll. You sit it on the top and you just roll it down and it's on. And this is not hard, it's just on. Often we encourage people to use lubricant. Do not use Vaseline, butter, baby oil, or whatever else you choose to do. KY jelly, which is a lubricant we use in medicine to put things like suppositories up people's bottoms, doesn't last long. KY jelly it dries very quickly. Most people will have sex and they want to have sex for quite some time because they're enjoying themselves. So you need to use a proper lubricant such as the Glide, which is one of those brands. Done a brand now. But it's a water-based lubricant and they're the best sort of things to use. And you can use them on the penis, on the body parts, on the toys, wherever you choose to use, they're quite safe. If you wish to, you're more than welcome to open it and feel it and have a little feel as you go around, or not. So, okay, you've had sex, you've enjoyed yourself. You need to make sure you change condoms every time you're having sex in a certain orifice because, as I said, you do not want to have anal sex and then vaginal sex. And they're the sort of little, if you've got it in your head, you don't have to think about it when you're doing it. And that's what I mean about getting your script, getting your actions right, because in that way your sex is enjoyable and it's not a case of, oh, step one I've got to do this, and step two I've got to do this, and step three I've got to do this, and before you know it, no one wants to have sex because you're too busy with the steps. When you've had sex and the penis is flaccid, which means it's relaxed, then you can take the condom off. You do not take the condom off when it's inside somebody. You take it off when it's outside the body. And unfortunately, it comes off much more easily when it's relaxed. But what you do, and this is what we teach the young kids, so you take it off. Sorry. See, sex is fun. You've got to have conversations like this. So what you do is you can either tie a knot or wrap it in a tissue. And one of the other things we say to young people is, so what do you do with this once you've done that? And they say, put it in the bin, which I'm loving because they're obviously getting the hit now because, we say, don't put it down the toilet. Turtles don't like it. Don't put it under your pillow. Your mother will wonder what it's doing there when she makes your bed. So all those little conversations. And then the next thing I say about learning to put condoms on, and particularly for the boys, as I say, practice. Go home and get condom supplies. Do it on yourself or do it on a cucumber, whatever you choose to do, but practice. Get comfortable with how it feels and how it feels for you. Because the more you practice, the more comfortable you will feel when the conversation comes about, I'd like to use a condom, and you go, yeah, sure, I know how to do that. And they're comfortable as well, because sometimes people don't want to do stuff if they don't know how to do it, and they'll just fluff through it. And so that's the problem. Any questions about that condom? It's basically called the male condom, but it works on toys and all sorts of things.